Awesome. Welcome everybody to this 10 Core Commitments Quick Start Basics for Network Marketers. Tonight we're so glad to be with you all here. We're glad that you all could make it. And tonight happens to be a recap of the 10 Core Commitments, and a special treat tonight. We're going to be doing some interviews with your fellow members of this class, and we're going to be able to learn not only how they apply the 10 Core Commitments in their life for the successes that they've had, but also any other tips that we can all learn from them. So tonight our goal is to equip and empower you to build a strong and profitable network marketing business, to be the best network marketer you can possibly be and reach your goals using these foundational 10 core proven methods. And I'm going to talk a little bit that time about what it means to really get into the basics. But before we get started, you may want to grab a pen and paper to get ready for tonight, but also to write down what's happening, what's coming up. So on Monday is our MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show. It's actually Monday through Friday, every weekday, where Jeff and I cover one of the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. I just love that class more and more the more that we do it. And we're getting more and more viewers, too. So it's a real joy to do it. This coming Monday, our topic is number 15, the Law of the Buy-in. And what that means is that your team will first buy into you as a leader and then the vision. So it's very important to know this and use this in building your network marketing business. This is open to the public. You can invite everybody to join us, and a lot of people do. So a whole lot of you come on, and we love sitting with you every weekday, and you can share this with your team and everyone. On Wednesday is a deeper dive into the leadership, when we have this inner circle within our school called the MLM Leadership University. And this is where we cover one of John Maxwell's books a month. And right now we're on one from the Complete 101 collection. It's a big book, and actually it's a bunch of books in one, but with the book within it that we're covering is Leadership. We'll be going through the beginning chapters. We'll be going through that book this coming Wednesday. So you are invited to the members of that class are on this call, and also if anyone else would like to join into that class, you actually get a discount by being a Quick Start Basics member. You get a discount into that class. So you can message me if you'd like information, or just look in the Facebook group under the post that Brandy made for the Wednesday night class, and there's a link there that gives you your discount. So we'd love to have you. It's very, very powerful. It teaches you how to apply these 10 core commitments. Very, very powerful, deep lessons that will just rock your life. I'll tell you, they do mine. They really have changed me. Tuesday, 3 p.m., Jeff and I always do a Facebook Live on it with an aspect of network marketing. And this coming up this Tuesday, we're going to cover the needs, the human needs that people have, all the way from survival all the way up to contributing to life and everything in between, and how to know where you are on that hierarchy of human needs that Abraham Maslow has designed. It's like a pyramid of human needs, and we're going to be teaching and showing how you must take care of the basic needs first before you can take care of others or grow your network marketing business, and to see where you are on that ladder of survival and needs, and how you can spot this in your prospects and in your team, and what that means to your business. It means everything. So we will love to have you then. That's, again, a free one and open to the public, so you can even send your team or invite friends to watch that too. Now we are going to be hosting an open house for the Quick Start Basics class on the first Sunday of every month starting in July. So that will be July 7th. Will be an open house where you can invite friends, you can invite your team. And it will be in the afternoon, Sunday afternoon, not during our class here, but in the afternoon. So we'll let you know more about that as time gets near. And let's see, the 10, you guys may know already, a little bit about our background. Jeff has 24 years history in network marketing and direct sales, and he's currently breaking records, actually. He has personally recruited over 500 people frontline and done over 10,000 presentations, has developed a system that he's brought over from real estate into network marketing, and that it's the best one that I have ever seen in network marketing. And so we teach that as one of the core ways, the core methods in these 10 core commitments that would fall under the presenting and the marketing. And I'll cover the 10 core commitments real quick in just a minute, but that is part of his experience. Mine is I'm a body-mind therapist, holistic health practitioner for 35 years. I personally helped hundreds of network marketers have breakthroughs through and to their success, past their fears, blocks, negative beliefs. I was also a full-time network marketer for years till my company went out of business. Then I went into the personal growth field to work on myself and also bring this back to network marketers. I'm called the Shrink of MLM. So the 10 core commitments, foundations, real quick. Number 1, getting started right. 2, be here a year from now. 3, personal development. 4, market daily, including how to invite people. And 5, present daily, including using our 10-minute presentation. 6, attend a weekly presentation open house. 7, attend a weekly core training, which you're doing right now, or hearing the replays. And number 8, attend a monthly regional. Number 9, attend all company conventions. And number 10, create a monthly massive action plan. Again, you may want to grab your pen and paper handy because these go fast and furious and there's a whole lot to absorb. But remember that if you just gain one thing that you can put into action into your business this week, it was a very successful call. Some people say, well, I just can't keep up with all the replays. My company calls and get on all the calls here. And I tell them, it's okay. You'll get what you need exactly. Even if you hear just 5 minutes of a call, that could be your $1 million idea, because each of the things we put out is real, real powerful. So just come and join us when you can, hear the replays when you can, but most of all, take away one thing that you can put into action this week. And so we teach these 10 core, and every week we dive into a deeper aspect, another aspect of the 10 core. When you have completed all 10 or heard their replays, let me know, because we have a certificate for you, a certificate completion for that level. That would be level 1. We have 10 levels in all. And Jim Bailey is now our first member of our class working on his 4th level. So congratulations to Jim. And we have other people following close behind. So keep track of that and let us know what level you're on and when you're ready for that next one. This class, like all of them, go 90 minutes and we shut it off, and we have an open coaching session where at the end we want to hear your best takeaway that you got from this class. And also that would be the time, once we do that, we'll go through again and see, does anybody have a question to ask or an insight to share? So if you do, something comes up from your week or from this class, jot it down, and then we'll cover that after the 90 minutes recording is shut off. So we definitely want to hear that. And over to you, Jeff. Tonight's a special one. So look forward to diving into this.
Actually, I was going to let you start out with some of our testimonials, if that's okay. I'd like to get those first.
Sure. Okay. Let me pull these up then. That would be over. I do. We have so many that I have literally collected them. Waiting for it to come up here. Computer slow, just a minute. So basically what it is we have a lot of people have been jumping ranks, and we are thrilled about that.
I thought we were starting with Joyce.
Oh, personal testimonials. Okay. I understood it was going to be an interview, but okay. So we have 4 people that we will interview tonight, and shall I just go ahead and invite Joyce to?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So Joyce has, maybe you can share with us that you've been jumping ranks since I think, October, using some of these methods. And we would love to hear what helped you to do that, whether our methods or whether some other methods that are new that we could share with the group.
You want to give me what her number is?
Oh, Joyce's 412.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
There we go.
Awesome. Hi, this is Joyce Shelkowski. I'm in Austin, Texas. I've been in the network marketing industry probably 10 or 15 plus years. My background is corporate. Anyway, when my kiddos were little and I wanted to exit the rat race, I got involved in this industry and cut the bug. And anyway, I've been through several companies, and 3 of which actually closed down for a variety of different reasons. So Beth, I did catch your live about the Advocare situation, and I really appreciate the fact that you're out there trying to provide support and help to that group of individuals. But I personally have been through similar circumstances in a minimum of 3 network marketing companies that also closed their doors for a variety of reasons. But I've been part of the MLM Millionaire Club. I've plugged in most days to the John Maxwell training, and I guess it's just working on personal development each and every day. And my biggest recommendation is just getting the monthly massive action plan, and then kind of boil that down to a daily method of operation. And so just because of my background and having been in several companies that kind of fell apart, I'm right now focused on multiple streams of income. And I know a lot of the experts would say, just focus on one company and, put all your energy into that. But the risks that I've experienced in, the past, that, there are no guarantees. And so I am working in several different companies. When Beth first asked me to be interviewed, I kind of felt, well, what I have to offer, because I haven't necessarily hit $1 million earning level with a company. And so when I think of the testimonials and people that I like to listen to, I'm always looking to, that $10,000, $20,000 a month earner plus. And I was there in my corporate days, but I'm not, currently there now. But I have been rank advancing in each of my companies. And literally, if you can master how to get your first promotion, your second promotion, and your third promotion, then you're in a position to bring the next person along. And it's all about duplication. It's all about creating systems that as your teams grow, that you can duplicate easily. And so one of my biggest things that my background is information technology, and I work for Big Six Management Consulting in the IT world. I love tools and technology. So that's probably one area that I've really embraced is putting systems into place to help quickly train new affiliates and bring them along. So whether it's a set of training videos where I get information as a new affiliate has come on board and they've watched different modules in terms of their training, and I kind of know how far along in the process they are, so that I'm not, personally having to invest the exact same amount of time with each brand new person that comes on board. So I've really tried to leverage tools in terms of helping me do that. And also doing several different businesses. I think that the need to market daily has been really important for me. And so I found some advertising platforms that I absolutely love on social media marketing, where I've got one lady on my team that I helped her set up her account. She got 27 leads over the weekend. And so we're still working through the process in terms of, setting up our autoresponders and how to follow up with these folks. but that's what I found. In order to move forward, just needing to get an influx of new people to talk with each and every day. And there are numerous ways to do that. I've been in Business Network International, BNI, and I've built large businesses through face-to-face networking, but now I've really started to leverage social media marketing.
Thank you, Joyce. Those are good tips, hitting levels 1, 2, and 3, mastering that, and seeing how you can duplicate. I'm curious if using the favor script and the 10-minute presentation, has that been part of your DMO?
Well, one company, yes. I guess each is a little different. Some are product-related companies, and then, others are in the gold crypto world, and then others are marketing tools. So I'm in, several different places right now. But yes, the favor script is outstanding, and it's definitely a great way to pick up the phone and start a conversation and, decide which avenue I'm going to go with the person. But for example, some of the product-related companies, traditional business owners that are in insurance or real estate, or they may or may not be interested in your product. But what I'm loving about what I do is having an initial conversation. I kind of assess, where they're at, what their level of interest is, and what their needs are, and I can offer them tools to help them build their real estate business if I get a dead end on a product-related conversation.
Awesome.
So,
thank you. How many ranks have you jumped since in all the ranks you jumped? How many have you jumped since? I think it was October, or since you've been with us? Or just curious, because I think I've lost count.
Yeah, I've jumped 5 in the gold company, probably 3 in one of the product companies, and 4 in one of the tool companies.
Look at that! Oh my gosh, that's 12. And the last, I don't know, since October has it been?
Probably.
Congratulations. Congratulations on even doing, a few ranks. That's wonderful. And I know that your team members really think the most of you and look to you. And I knew Joyce back in Austin when I lived there 6 years, and we networked a lot in the same groups. I was in BNI too, a different group than you, and we were in your local city with Tanya Hoffman. Mm-hmm. And she was in all the network marketing groups, and people love her and look to her and really respect you. So I'm glad to have you part of this team, and thank you also for referring people to this class and being a wonderful example. I'm so proud of you. I know you're a mom too, and you're juggling a lot, and have also met other challenges that all while you were doing this too. So congratulations, much admiration to you, and thank you for sharing your tips.
Okay, I appreciate you and Jeff, and especially your consistency, just being there, on a daily basis. That if it's just the food for the brain every day to jump on and listen to a little bit of John Maxwell and some good training. So I appreciate that.
You like that we're there, and we like that you're also so regular. So, and I know that's part of your success. So thank you. Congratulations to you.
Awesome.
So what next, Jeff?
Who do we have next?
Do we want to go with Dr. Chris? He's on here too.
That would be great. Scroll down here. Up.
Cool.
There we go. Sorry, man.
No worries. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good. Can we start out with basically your name, your background, or your name, your location, your background, and basically how you saw MLM, like who brought it to you? How did you see this?
Cool. So my name is Dr. Chris Enomoto. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist. However, I'm in the network marketing business doing that full time. And I was introduced, man, I say when I was in my early 20s to network marketing. So I've been in several different businesses, but I've never been really successful until this company. I'm very passionate about it, and I think that makes a huge difference. And also with the classes and mentorship that you guys have, that's made a huge, huge difference in my success.
What was kind of your struggle prior to, you know, getting involved in the company you're in? You said you got into several companies and kind of struggled. What was this? What are some of the struggles you ran into?
Well, definitely fear of rejection, not really having success with prospecting, getting a whole bunch of no's, and then that kind of led to blocks and fear. So when I did a session with you guys to help remove some of those blocks, that's made a huge, huge difference.
Awesome. And I know, you jumped several ranks as well. What kind of success have you seen in your company, the levels that you've achieved? And then another thing that I think is really cool about when you are successful, how many people in your company have reached out to you and asked for help that maybe not even associated with your team, because I see you moving in the right direction?
Quite a bit, especially when I go to different regionals and people are, I talk to people are reaching out. I'm helping other lines, even though there's no incentive for me. I just love being able to pay it forward. So quite a few people around the country have been reaching out.
Awesome. And I mean, out of these 10 core, was there any one of them from the class that really helped more than others?
Actually, I'm still working on them, but I see improvement. I rate myself in, all the areas. But being able to use the favor script and being able to tighten up my 10-minute presentation has really given me a lot of confidence, been able to present to a lot more people, and also that duplication process, being able to pass it along to the team.
Awesome. I know we actually sat for, I want to say it was like 2 hours, and we figured out your 10-minute presentation. How much did it help once you got that in order to be able to go out there and confidently present over and over again?
Hugely. It made a huge, huge difference. I'm the type of person who gets in my own way at times, wanting everything to be perfect and getting caught too much in the details. So with your help, it made a huge, huge difference of being able to be concise and clear and, again, a lot more confident to present to people where I didn't feel like I was being a burden or taking too much of their time. So it's made a huge difference.
And what kind of success have you seen back? I mean, obviously, now that you're presenting to more people in a way that, opens the doors, what kind of reactions are you getting? Are you getting positive? Have you gotten any negativity? What have you gotten back?
No, I haven't got any negativity. I've gotten pretty much positive, which have led to, more sessions. People are able to try this medical device that I represent, or even lead to rentals. And then that has actually led to a few sales, which is great. And we have an incentive bonus, so my goal is to achieve that. And it's just one thing that I need to get better at is actually getting more referrals from the people. So that's where I know I'm kind of pretty weak at.
And is that just asking for them, or you just haven't physically got them because...
I mean, I'll ask, is there anybody you know, but I don't know, there's some type of gap where I'm not actually getting the names or numbers of people.
One thing just a tip that I found, when you ask for a specific number, it helps a lot. When you say, hey, do you know anybody? I would pick out maybe your top 3 people that somebody could get you in front of. you know, I love John Maxwell's phrase, you know, who do you know that you think I should meet? That's really good if you're working with somebody who's used to giving referrals. But if you're around people who aren't in business and you're around people who aren't used to networking, when you ask them, they blank out. So the easiest thing to do is come up with maybe a specific person and or like ideal, they call it an avatar. What would be the ideal avatar? So, for instance, just after our conversation, you said chiropractor would be a great person, anybody who's into natural health. So it might be good to come up with a list of, you know, I just had a question. Do you know of anybody who's a chiropractor? Do you know of any, or have a family member or friend, a chiropractor, or this, or this, or this? Another way to do it would be, and I've seen this done in multiple companies, is say, you know, we found that the best way to find people, referral-wise, is to post on social media. Would you, if I created a post and sent it to you, could you put it out there for me? And it basically says, hey, I'm interested in meeting chiropractors. That's all it says. I mean, could you imagine if somebody posted that on their wall, all of a sudden, and tagged you in it, all of a sudden you will get the tag as well, and then you can go about the process and follow up. It eliminates people really having to say anything.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's perfect.
And really, that's a tip for everybody on here. I watched somebody else do that, and they said, hey, would you mind if I made a post and sent it out, and you could, you know, just tag me in it? Their business was, you know, specifically about credit, so that's what they were asking people to do, and one of them, I think, had 58 comments on it, so they had 58 people to follow up with. It's pretty strong.
That's awesome.
So that might be something to like think about. What would be 3 or 4, maybe even as many as 5? I wouldn't go over 5 professions or specific people that you'd like to meet, and kind of go about it that way.
All right, great. Thank you.
That way you can just open the door.
Definitely. Sweet. Thank you.
Beth, anything else that you'd like to ask or follow up on?
Well, how do you have sent a number of your team here, and we've been helping them. How do you talk to your team about this class?
Well, I tell them how much it's really helped me, and even to be able to plug in and learn more about the business, network marketing business, and developing skills to be successful. And I've shared this with people that aren't even in my team, and I just keep talking about it because you guys have helped me tremendously, and I like paying it forward.
Well, thank you. Have you noticed any difference? Has it made a difference in your team?
Yes, and especially being able to get people started right now that I have a better understanding of that, getting back with my team members, going over the agent profile, and then sitting down. One of my team members, we set up a time on Fridays to meet or to check in, and I look forward to doing that with the other active members and even the ones that aren't really active, to just kind of check in and see how they are and what they've been doing, and see if there's anything I can do to help support them in this business.
Thank you. And have you seen a difference in the people that you sent to the class? Have they been more active? Have they?
Yes, definitely. Yes, with one, Shauna and Crystal, they have been taking it upon themselves to set appointments, do the presentations and demos, which Shauna mentioned to me. She was like, oh my goodness, the favorite script works so well. So that was so nice to hear, and it's so good to see them actually, that empowerment within them and their confidence growing.
That makes me smile. That makes my day.
Awesome.
If we can ease someone's business or shortcut it, because there's frustration enough, you know, about facing ourselves and our fears and all this stuff and getting out there, but if we can make it easy for people to get a yes, I will look at your presentation, and to translate that into sign-ups and to helping more and more people, because everybody that you sign up represents hundreds of potential people that they could reach out and touch that you can't. So I just love the economy the law of the economical way that network marketing can train one person that could, potentially reach hundreds. I love it.
Yeah.
And I think the favor script is the very easiest way to do that. And the method, signing them up afterwards, just love it.
Awesome. Well, congratulations for both Joyce and Dr. Chris. Your success so far. Look forward to seeing you move up a couple more ranks, and thank you, obviously, for paying it forward. Because, that's where I found the super successful come from. It's not just doing well yourself. It's like you're able to help everybody else around you, and you do it regardless because it's more of the right thing to do. I hate to see people, bash or beat their head against the wall in this industry and not get, what you could just pass along and say, hey, this is where you could go to fix that or figure it out. Sometimes people aren't willing to listen. They just don't want any help, which is fine. But for the ones who do, that's awesome. And that's where I see, people that are super successful. That's one of the main traits I think they have. So any other questions or any other things that we could possibly answer or any tips you want to give the rest of the group?
Again, just be passionate. Persistence wears down resistance, and really, I love what I do in my product, and I think that makes a huge world of difference, and it rubs off on not only customers, but distributors and potential distributors and customers too. So stick with it.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bess, you want to... Where'd you go?
I'm here.
You want to... Who is next that we also were going to bring on?
We have David Peters. Are you on here, David?
I think he is.
I didn't... There was one number I didn't recognize.
David, is that you, 6001?
Or is he at 4002?
Yes, sir, that's me.
That was a good guess.
Hello.
Okay, so what we're going to do is, basically starting out the same name, location, background, and how you saw MLM, when you first saw it, like how were you introduced to it?
Well, my name is David Peters. Wait a minute. Can you guys hear me okay? I'm hearing some background noise.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's speaker or headset or...
Yeah, I'm not on a speakerphone or headset.
It's better now.
I guess it's gone. Yep. Okay, so, yeah, my name is David Peters, and background is, I'm a tile guy for 16 years. For the last 3 years, I've been self-employed. I was introduced to network marketing 11 years ago, and I'm losing my voice for some reason. I have no idea. I'm not sick, but my voice is slipping for some reason all day today. So 11 years ago, I was introduced to network marketing, and somebody sampled me an energy drink. And they were like, hey, we could make a lot of money with these energy drinks. And I was working my way up through the construction company that I worked at, wanted to be a project manager there. And I was like, if I could supplement my income, why not? And so this guy said he wanted to come over to my house and share with me how we were going to grow this energy drink company. And he started drawing these circles on the board and showed how we were all going to work together. And I was like, that looks awesome. Let's do that. And so I went to some pretty large conventions. One convention had 40,000 people in St. Louis, and I was just hooked. Somebody handed me my first book. It was Robert Kiyosaki's Cash Flow Quadrant. And what I saw there changed the way that I thought forever, which was I read that I could create money, I could create a system that would generate money without me being there. And I was like, when I grew up around people that lived on government assistance or they worked at factories. And so nobody was talking about residual income. Nobody was talking about creating assets that paid you residually without you spending your time to create the money. And so I never heard these kind of things, and it hooked me into network marketing as a way to be able to create an asset that paid me monthly without me physically being at work, and earn money based on the sales organization or size of the sales organization that I grew over time. And so I've never been willing to walk away from network marketing because I didn't know what was better. I was like, there's nothing else. Like, what would I quit to? Like, I don't know anything that's better than this, and so I'll just keep going until I figure it out. And then I ran across, so I never did really have great success. I struggled. I ruined a lot of relationships. People felt like I was trying to sell them stuff all the time until I finally just quit approaching people. And I would join a company, and I was like, man, this is a really great company, really great product. I really want to tell people about it, but I don't want to ruin the relationships. And so the old approach of, hey, you keep your income options open, people are like, hey, back up. I don't want to look at anything that you have. And so I'm not interested in products, not interested in the opportunity. And so then when I heard Jeff say, the way that people do it is it raises a lot of resistance. And my ears perked up, and I was like, it does. He's right. And then I heard him say, what if you could do network marketing like everybody else does business? What if you could ask them to, hey, could you do me a favor, take a look at what I'm working on now? That way, if you run into the right person, you could refer me. And I was like, who wouldn't do that? Like, unless they hated me, unless they really didn't want to hear me talk at all, and of course they'll listen to what I'm doing. And if they run across the right person, they'll give me a referral. And so I was like, I can do that favor script with anyone, even if I know for sure this business isn't for them. And if I know that, like, if I think that the business completely is not for them, they're making $1 million a month or whatever, they're completely not going to be interested. And I'll say, hey, I know what I'm doing's completely not for you, but I was hoping I could show you what I'm working on. That way, if you run across the right person, you could refer me. And people, I've got about 99% of people that I've been able to book an appointment with at that point and say, when would you have 10 minutes for me to do a presentation? I mastered my presentation at my company, and I jumped 2 ranks just by telling everybody what I was doing. And so now I've got a clear vision. I've got a clear purpose of what I'm doing, which is my goal is to grow a 300-person sales organization in the next 12 months. And I know that the only 2 things that I have to focus on in order to do that is I need to keep doing the favor script and keep doing presentations over and over and over and over. I need to show 1,000 people what I'm doing. And it doesn't have to be people that I know. If I run out of people that I know, I can just go to professionals and I can say, hey, do you trade referrals? And so the people that I can talk to is unlimited. And I'm really, really grateful that I ran across Jeff and had the opportunity to be able to work with him and Bess because I wouldn't be experiencing the success that I am without these methods.
Awesome. So, I mean, outside of the favor script, obviously you've heard, the entire 10 core. What would you say was, I mean, the favor script sounds like the number one thing that kind of got you in the right direction. What about the presentation? Because I know what I'm finding is people are like, okay, the favor script kind of makes sense, but it's almost like a lack of faith or a lack of belief that a 10-minute presentation is going to net you what you want, which is, I think people still want some miraculous, automatic sign up. How did it free you up to talk to people? Because I know you put me on the phone with certain people who, it sounds like before they were some of them are your mentors or people you looked up to, and now you're getting them to look at what you do. Like how did that transition happen? How has this freed you up?
The presentation, if it's somebody who, like at the very beginning, and even now, I will, instead of me saying, hey, I'd like you to take a look at what I'm doing, I'll say, hey, I'd like you to take a look at what we're doing. And so they're like, who's we? And I'm like, well, they usually don't ask who's we, but in their mind, I know they're thinking who's we. And so changing that one little word of from like you to take a look at what I'm doing to what we're working on. I'd like you to take a look at what we're working on. That way, if you run across the right person, you could refer us. So I'm talking about me and my business partner instead of just me. And so I'm kind of setting up that like they're in their mind, they're thinking, who's this other person that he's working with? And then they're like, yeah, I'll take a look at what you guys are working on. And I'm like, great. When would you have 10 minutes next week to get on the phone with us so we can explain what we're doing? And then they'll say, Tuesday at 6, or, I do presentations. I try to do them at 6 p.m., 7 p.m., or around noon or 1 o'clock. And so I've got times in my head already that I can book those presentations, and I'll steer them to one of those times at whatever day. I don't care what day they pick, but I'll pick the time. And if those times don't work for them, then I'll try a weekend, because most people don't work on the weekends. And so, and then I just introduce them to who I'm working with. Like, hey, I mentioned that I was working with somebody, and I wanted to tell you what we were doing, and then I'll let Jeff do the presentation, because they've heard me pitch them on 10 different things, and for them to hear it from a third party, they don't need to hear the presentation from me, because they feel my belief and my excitement about what I'm doing. And so for them to hear it from Jeff, or for them to hear it from that doesn't have to be Jeff, because I know not everybody's working with Jeff, but for them to hear it from a third party is even better. Sometimes it's like, we're not the what is that old saying, Jeff? You're not the messenger in your hometown, or something like that.
Oh, you're not a king in your own kingdom.
Yeah, you're not the king in your own kingdom. Sometimes people get tired of listening to you, and so having someone else come in gives it credibility. And I will even set it up, and I'll say, hey, this person's really successful with what we're working on, and I'm going to have them explain to you what we're doing. And then at the end of the presentation, it's congruent with what I asked. So I asked them to do me a favor and take a look at what I'm doing. That way they could give me a referral at the end of the presentation, whether it's me or a third-party person. We have to be on the same page that it's not a hard close at the end of the presentation. It's like, hey, here's what I'm doing. Here's the money side of it. There's people that are making a couple $100s a month. There's people that are making $1 million a year. It just depends on what you want. These are the kinds of people that, you know, that come into this company to create income, and people that sell the product, people that want to build an agency, and, you know, based on what you heard, this is what I always say, and it's what I've heard Jeff say also, based on what you've heard, who do you know, or based on what you heard, do you know anyone that needs to earn extra income or that could use these services? And so at the end of the presentation, it's congruent with the invitation. And so they don't feel like the whole presentation, I'm letting them know that we're looking for people for this, we're looking for people for this product, we're looking for people for this service, we're looking for people for this opportunity. And so I want them to feel through the whole presentation that I'm not trying to sell them. That way their sales wall stays down and they stay open and receptive to what I'm telling them. Because if at any point in the presentation they feel like I've pulled a bait and switch and I'm trying to sell them, then they may put up the sales wall and stop listening to what I'm saying. And so all the way through the presentation, I'm talking about, you know, who do you know that could use this? Who do you know that could earn, you know, most people would like an extra $500 a month. Who do you know that could use that, right? And so, and then at the end of the presentation, it's who do you know, do you know anyone that could use extra income right now, part-time, or do you know anyone that could use our products or services? And what I found is because there's so little resistance, if they're looking at all, they're so receptive to the message, they're listening. If they're interested in the product, if they're interested in the service or the opportunity, they're going to tell me. And if they know anyone, I just did a presentation with a guy today. One of my team members put me on the phone with someone, so that's proof that what we're doing is duplicating. And he said at the end of the presentation, he wasn't interested in the money. When I started going into the money part of the presentation, he's like, "Oh, I'm not interested in the money part." And then I said, "Well, you know, this isn't, the money part is not for you, definitely. But for Gary, which is the guy that I'm working with, for Gary, I'd like to just explain to you about the money part. That way, if you run across somebody who could use some extra income, you can send them to Gary." And so I just briefly explained the income part without going into all. You don't need to regurgitate the entire compensation plan. Just let them know there's a little bit of money part-time. There's a lot of money that they can generate if they build a team over time. And let them know there's people there to help them do that so they're not by themselves. And then they can create an income that pays them every month, and you know, regardless if they're going to work or not. And so this person was when I got done explaining to them about the income portion, he said, "You know what? I do know a couple people that I could refer to Gary that they've had to scale back on their hours at work." And so if I would have went at that a different angle, like, well, let me just tell you about the money part because, you know, you said you were busy and you need this. Then his wall goes up and he hates me and he hates Gary for putting me on the phone with him. But because I was like, no, I know it's not for you, but you may run across somebody that needs this, you can refer them to Gary. Now he's willing to listen. And if we can get 100% of the people that listen to us, then it may not be for them, but they may know somebody that desperately needs what we're sharing with them, And it's the difference between them losing their house or them keeping their house. And so I just see bigger purpose in what we're doing, and I'm excited about it. So really, really thankful.
Awesome, and we can hear that. Bess, I'm going to turn this over to you, have some questions. Hold on one second. Why did that not undo? You're muted on your end.
Thank you. So, David, I have loved your enthusiasm. You have popped up on our lunchtime shows with really helpful tips and comments, very insightful, positive, lot of energy. They're very deep, and there's a lot behind them. And you've made some Facebook Lives. One of my favorite was, people say this is hard compared to what? You know, and then you listed the hard things that you found about other jobs. People can be babies about network marketing. I loved your tips in that. Do you think, have Facebook Lives helped you? Is that part of your strategy?
I use social media in order to create conversations. And so I don't necessarily look at social media and marketing. Social media is my tool to meet more people and have more conversations with people, and take those conversations from the comment section to the messenger, and then, hey, give me a call. And I create more connections with people, and I give value without asking for anything in return. There's no sell, there's no buy my product, there's no buy, sign up with me now. It's, what have I learned? Let me give that to people for free. And the people that are looking to improve themselves, it's attracting those people, and it's detracting the people that think that's stupid. And so it repels the people that I'm not looking for, and it attracts the people that I am looking for, so that I can have conversations with those people. I just got on the phone with a guy named Mike from California, who's an electrician, tonight, who I'd never spoke with before, but he watched my Robert Kiyosaki ESBI Facebook Live, and we had a conversation, and I gave him the favor script, and I gave him the, I mastered these two things, and this is the success I've been having, struggle in network marketing, and now I'm referring him to the videos that you guys do to help him in his business. And he asked me what business I was in. I told him, but I didn't pitch him on my company. Didn't even ask him to join, or didn't ask him to buy or anything. I just give people value, and what happens is they say your income is your net worth is equal to your net worth. Your net worth is in your network. And so when you give people value without expecting anything in return, then your network grows. If you have a bigger network of people, then you're going to find people that will reach out to me and say, hey, I'd like to be a part of whatever it is that you're doing because you've helped me so much. They actually end up feeling guilty because I've helped them so much that they'll feel that I'll guilt them into working with me. And that's what I want. And so, but I don't want to hunt them down because everybody else is doing that. And so, and I don't want to feel slimy either. And that makes me feel slimy to hunt people down and try to steal them away from something. And so, and people can feel that. And so I don't like to do that. network or my Facebook Lives, my social media is just to give value for free, attract the right people to me, detract the wrong people away from me, and it is a marketing. It's also a way to market, and so there's prospecting, which is what Jeff teaches. You can actively reach out to 100 people. It's very controllable, very scalable. You actively reach out to people and ask them to take a look at what you're doing so they can give you a referral. So you can set a goal and say, I'm going to reach out to 100 people and do 100 presentations this month. But with marketing, it's slower. And so because you have to give so much to people, so much value in order to build enough trust to cause them to want to reach out to me. And so it's a very slow process, but it's worth it. It's worth it because you get, for me, I get value out of giving. I'm helping people without any expectation of return, and also it's beneficial whenever I get a business partner from it. So I financially, I get financial reward from that also, and I'm helping them. So
seems like people could watch you on Facebook Live for days, weeks, months, or even years before they might reach out to you. Well, I know you by now, and I know I need, an extra income, or I want to be more secure in my life, or I'm ready to develop something on the side, or I need to. And okay, now I'm ready to join you because now they've seen you for a long time online. So It could be having more effect than even you know. And it's good experience in giving your presentation and asking people for referrals. So right there, you can do your 10-minute presentation in your Facebook Live. I love that.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. The marketing aspect's very slow, but it generates leads. But the prospecting side, if you want to build fast, you have to do prospecting. Otherwise, you're at the mercy of your marketing skills. Yeah,
meaning online marketing.
Yeah.
So yeah, keep talking to your friends and people and getting to know more people and asking them for referrals. That would be what you call the prospecting. So
yes, absolutely.
That's the fastest way. And then when you run out of those, going to leads and using what Jeff is teaching on leads. So great.
Yeah, I would recommend. What I do is Facebook Lives that's my marketing aspect. So I'm going to do that and attract people to me, which generates leads for me. And I'm going to reach out to people and actively prospect.
Thank you. And I know that about just a question about the 10-minute presentation, if I could ask another one.
Yeah.
I know that Jeff has worked deeply with Dr. Chris to hone his, and I've worked, he's spent about 2 hours with Dr. Chris, and I've spent about 2 hours with other members here in the class, really getting their 10-minute presentations honed. I was wondering if you've done that, and curious if you needed to, or if you were given one that then you can pass on, or if have you refined your 10-minute presentation?
I have not refined it. What I did with my 10-minute presentation is I printed off the company PDF or the company slideshow, the presentation. I printed that off, and it's 13 slides, 13 pages. And I'll flip through that to keep me on track, and I'll explain the flipbook presentation. And I would listen to people that were good. Like Jeff said, listen to people that are good at the presentation and pull the really effective things out of those presentations that are really good. And so I would listen to the people in my company that were good, and then I would throw those things in at the right parts of the presentation when I'm doing it. And that's it. But you know, if you guys wanted to work with me on refining my presentation, that would be great. I'd never turn down help. I think that'd be foolish. But yeah.
Well, awesome. And what these people have done is they've arranged for private coaching with us to do that. And we'd be glad to help anybody who would like to do it. We think it's a good investment because it should generate many, hundreds of times back what you spend for coaching. Hey, David, is there, I was just curious what your measurable success markers are, like ranks or any other measurable success that you've had since you began using the methods?
Measurable success ranks that I've had since I began using the methods. I've sponsored I believe 7 business partners and 4 customers in like 50 days.
Congratulations.
And that helped me. My team's producing also, and so that with my team's efforts and my efforts has pushed me up 2 ranks. And I guess that would be measurable. That'd be the only measurable success I've had. I guess what else could be measurable is whenever I send out invitations, I could send out 7 text messages. Last week, I sent out 7 text messages and I booked 7 presentations. And so that never would happen with my other efforts that I used previous to the favor script. And so I guess that's measurable. 100% of the people that I reach out to, nearly 100% will listen to the presentation, or I'll book a presentation with them. And then I haven't really measured how many people that I'll present to will join after the presentation. I haven't really looked at that number. I've just had my head down doing 1 presentation a day. I've actually been able to put in place a schedule to actually work because the work is so well defined. When before I didn't really know how to develop a schedule to work. And so I can put aside 30 minutes to send out text messages and then set up 1 presentation a day, and I know that my work in my business is taking me 30 minutes a day. And so that's pretty profound because I've never been able to put a time frame on how long I'm working my business each day, because I was constantly going on Facebook, reaching out to people. It felt like for hours and hours with very little results.
Great. So now you have something specific, defined, measurable, and you know how long it takes, and you know what to do.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. These are wonderful summary of what you're doing and how you're doing it, and thank you very much. And over to you, Jeff. Is there any other questions?
That was awesome, man. Appreciate the feedback from Joyce, Dr. Chris, and Dave. Bess, do we have anyone else that we have asked to come on? Because I know we have a couple more people who have jumped ranks here. Jim Bailey is on as well. Jim's also jumped a rank, correct?
That's what I was saying when I was muted. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Let's bring on Jim. Jim, are you there? Hello, hello.
Had to pull out my speaker.
There he is.
That knocks out the microphone. Yeah, hey everybody. Greetings. Great class tonight, and I have been following these folks in the Tabor script for a while, and it just has really relaxed a lot of relationships, which I probably burned down the road like David has, you know, where it's just like, oh no, here he comes, run, you know. So it has really helped out there. So I'm been doing a thing on either hit heart the other night, organization or organize or agonize, and so a little organization is always good, because that agonizing is it just doesn't work. It's agonizing, I tell you. But I've loved the John Maxwell stuff on Wednesdays. I pop in now and then on those daily shows at noon, and it's just a inspiration to try to do a little self-development and work yourself into a relationship or marketing. So the relationships are the fun part of it. The money part comes next, but building the right relationship first is the fun part, because I think David said it, and the doctor said it, and everybody said it, is once you start approaching folks, they begin to start drawing towards you. So you do have to draw the people you want to draw to and repel the other people away, because, and that's part of the application part, just to see if they're interested, and the part of just where if the guy's not interested, you know, defuse him and make it work for somebody else. Don't take that opportunity away from somebody else, even though they're not interested. So for me, I'll have to work on getting a few more referrals, but I've been working real hard on finding people more on the opportunity. So this is a great opportunity just to learn the basics, and I continue to go onward and upward. So thanks, guys.
Awesome.
Everybody.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Congratulations on your success. And I mean, how much, you know, would you say the class has contributed directly to, you know, because you've been in the industry, you know, when did you say you'd signed up the first time?
Here or there or everywhere. I got into the business back in 1985, and that was my first taste. And then I tried a few product lines. I've met a lot of great people. We talked about it a little bit, where sometimes the company is kind of a flash pan and it goes away, and that's heartening. And I appreciate that part, because you do put your whole soul into it sometimes, and it's like, oh no, how could that happen? So I've been beat up a little bit, but I've never given up, because I've always really liked the self-development or the part of where you're just trying to better yourself every day. So I have had a lot, and over the past couple of years, after my one company kind of fizzled out. This approach on relationship marketing is much more appealing, and then you just have to think more long term and be in there for the long haul. I think that's why I've been here for 3 rounds. I want to go around for the 4th round, and kind of like Dave, hopefully you can start teaching it after you've learned it several times. But I've learned a lot. I'm working a lot on call to action of just now saying, hey, this is a service. If you want it, great. And that's why the business part of it, rather than the MLM part of it, you just can't even put that to the side of you. So I built a beginning foundation, and I built it up on 3, 4 different companies, and it's really going to be fun to get the right team and the people involved on the opportunity rather than the sell-mail part of things, because the sell-mail will fizzle out. The relationships have been great on everything, even the ones you got beat up on. I still reach out to those people just to see what the heck they're doing now, and that's always interesting too. So even if you get beat up, I suggest you reach out to a few folks, at least where you had, good karma, good relationship with, to keep that friendship going. So,
hey Jim,
it's been awesome. Thanks, guys.
Jim, I have a question.
Sure.
These methods that we teach, especially the favorite script and the 10-minute presentation, but all of them, how have these methods, I'm curious because you've been in for so long, how have these methods compared with other ones that you've used before?
I think I've always had a relationship with most folks anyway, so it just kind of enhanced it, at least for me. There's that there's a lot of, I don't know, it just relaxed things a little bit for me. And then I was got into it. You guys helped me with that script. Myself, we'll call it a prior lifetime. And that was very useful. But this other stuff, in the 21 laws and such, you can use in your whole life. So I've used it in my more investments and real estate end, and and I've always had a great relationship with my tenants, so that's why that has always worked. I just had a tenant where he just lost his mom. He went back to Kentucky, came back just going, I don't got rent. I'm just, I'll borrow it from my boss and everything else. And I said, hey, just relax, don't, you can catch up with me. And I've always done first month's, last month's rent. So I just said, hey, there's that last month's rent. And then all you got to do is get your deposit back when you have a chance. So the relationship one is always the way to go for me. And this whole class has helped, like I said, organize or agonize, so get your ducks in one row, and it's a hell of a lot easier. So that's what kind of the class has done, and I appreciate just the, book a month, and it helps me refresh on my own mind thought. So it's been just more mind development. And now everything's falling in place, so a lot of the stuff you agonize on, you got to relax and concentrate on the important stuff. So,
oh yeah,
two things the class has helped me with.
I think you were one of the first people to jump into Leadership University, the Wednesday night class. To what degree do you think that helps your business?
it helps me a lot. I do it more for the more of a book club because all his books are just so exceptional. So it helps me. I've read a few, but it's fun to hear it verbally. I'm more of a verbal person than be able to sit down and read a book. I'd squirm out of that chair after an hour and figure out something else to do. So I like hearing it verbally, and it's like I said, it's like a book club. So
A lot of stories.
I think that's the main reason I jumped into it at that point.
We tell stories and learn and go deeper and bat it back and forth, and I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we all learn, and that's what's been the fun part.
Profound.
Growing together. So if you're not growing, you're sliding. So I suggest everybody just keeps trying to keep growing, and if you keep after it and focus it down to really what you want, you should be able to achieve it. So that's the fun part.
Thank you for all your contributions in all the classes and all the avenues that you've been in with us and joining us, and also congratulations on reaching your recent rank.
Thanks. I'm gonna try to hit a few more. So it's happening every day. So I'm looking forward to see this flower bloom. I guess that's why we had the full flower moon last night. Things are going to flower for all this, and I hope everybody has a great harvest.
Hey, Jeff, could we spend a few minutes, or could I share a few minutes about the Advocare thing, because it's floating around. A lot of people are a little scared, well, what that could happen to my company too, or what could it mean to our profession?
I think most people don't even know about it, but yeah.
Okay. Well, in case people don't, yeah, you might not. So maybe this would help before you hear about it. But it was Friday night that Jeff sent me a text, and that was my first knowledge that Advocare, a nutritional company who's been in business very.
Oh, my bad.
Okay, Advocare is a nutritional company that's been in a lot of great success for about 25 years. So they have a nice, long, stable history. And they announced Friday that they are changing from a multi-level marketing company into a direct selling company. And that affects over 100,000 distributors that they have. In other words, a lot of them are now out of a residual income. They're giving them 2 months before this actually goes into effect. But it's a huge change, and it can be a lot of shock for the people who are doing more than just direct sales. They were using that as an income. One person said, gosh, all of a sudden my $40,000 a month income has gone poof. And so they're in shock. Other people are in shock because maybe they were 6 or 7 figure earners in Advocare, and some of their best friends are now coming after them and trying to recruit them. So they have a lot going on. I don't know if it's clear right now if they're changing this because of the FTC and regulations, or if there's some other reasons like legal or profit reasons going on. I do know that the owner of it, the original owner and founder, has died 15 years ago. So I'm not sure what changes. I'm not sure if anybody really knows the real reason this is all happening. There's just a lot of speculation. But I thought there's a few things we can garner and learn from that. Now, some people are looking at this and saying, well, should I be in network marketing if this can happen any day to me? Could this happen to my company? So I just wanted to share a few things that we can, as network marketers, if and when you do hear more about this or learn about it or brings up any fears, that there's a few things that we can learn from it. If it was FTC related, then remember to always do what's only company compliant. Make sure when you give your 10-minute presentation that's from your company's materials and their videos or written materials. And do not infer that you are rich. I don't think anybody in here does that, but the people who the FTC especially watches is people who make videos in front of rich cars and imply that I am rich and that you can be too, if you just join this company. So, but that's an outlandish one, right? Inferring something that might not be true or might not be true for anybody. If you just get in it, then, you can have all this too. But there could be more subtle income claims. I'm not really sure exactly what those are for network marketing other than just follow your company's guidelines, stick real close to that and make sure that you know them and that you stay within that guidelines. And another lesson that we can learn by looking at this is things can change. I've known many people that have been on a roll. They made a lot of money in their life, in or out of network marketing. They were on a roll, and they just assumed that this is going to be this way for the rest of their life. So they spent the money like it would always be there, or that it would always have that much income. And suddenly, things shifted, changed. The economy changed. Different factors changed, and they no longer had that income. So just want to say, yes, you can build, and yes, you can lose. So save and invest, and plan for it not being, we prepare for the worst, but we expect the best. Keep expecting and doing, but be prepared in case there is a change. And then realize that you can rebuild. If this should happen to you or someone that you know, or this filters down to you and you hear of people who are devastated by this, realize that just about every successful person has had failures, setbacks, and had to rebuild. They've run into dead ends, or they've put their hopes and dreams, poured their life into something, and then it didn't work out. And they had to rebuild or go a different direction. Eric Worre himself said in network marketing he had to rebuild 8 times from the ground floor. But people do rebuild. They do say, okay, this has happened to other people, they've rebuilt, and I can rebuild. And Joyce Shokowski just told us that was 3 times that her company quit. The good thing is that network marketer has the skills, and Jeff has built a lot of times, right? A bunch of times in different companies too. So once you have the skills, you can simply apply that, and each time it's going to be easier and better because you've just gone to school. Every time you are in a company or have built, you are in a school. Life is a school, and you're better now. You can take those skills forward, so you can lose a company, you can lose a leg, your company can go bankrupt or out of business or shut down or change comp plans or anything like that, but you still have your skills. And all is not lost. You gather those up, and now you're stronger than ever because of what you've learned in that company, and you can rebuild. Now, if you have Advocare friends, do not try to recruit them. Let them be. They are getting inundated with friend requests. Some are getting devastated because they thought they had best friends who are now trying to recruit them, and they're kind of showing their true colors. Generally, they can pretty much count these people as not being their friends. So let them be. The people that are true friends with them, if you kept long relationships over time, will be the ones that in time, when it's time, if and when it's time for them to look for another company, that's who they're going to look to, not to somebody pitching them. So forget that. And on the flip side, stay friends with people that even aren't in your company, or they looked at your company but they joined another one. You have a good friend. Don't cut ties because they didn't choose you. Stay in touch with them, because in time you may find, well, that company didn't work out and I might be back. So I encourage people going, Advocare distributors right now. I made a video today as the strength of MLM because I felt, that's what I do. I need to help and support these distributors. So the tips that I gave for them right now, or anybody going through any loss or any setback of any type, is take good care of yourself. Take some time to step back, breathe, relax. You don't need to make any sudden or rash decisions right now. Take real good care of yourself. Eat good food. Do not binge out on junk food or get drunk or something, because that will just temporarily feel good but leave you in a worse shape. So eat good food, take good walks, exercise, do what your regular routines is, especially your spiritual ones. Definitely tend to those, hang on to those, cling to those, and use those. If you have a pet, hug your dog. Let your pet help you to heal. And talk things out with trusted friends. Journal. Write down feelings of frustration or anger or confusion or overwhelm or fear. Just write it out and get it out. Trust that there is always a solution to things, and then let that solution come naturally. If anyone in this position needs to get a job, then get a job. They're giving their distributors 2 months before this goes into effect. So they are giving them time to regroup, to find a supplemental income real quick, to get the food on the table and the bills paid and all that stuff. So the best thing, I think, if a person did not have a lot of savings built up, and it definitely, this took whatever income that they had, maybe it was a full-time income, it took that, then get a job, just like before you got into network marketing. Keep your job so that you don't bring that desperation to your prospects, and then take your time looking for another company. Do not rush into another one, because that's a big decision, one you can stay with and build deep and has a good comp plan and all that. I do recommend Jeff to check out comp plans. He's done that for people and some of my clients that I've referred. So if you know Advocare people and they are looking around, I would hire Jeff. If I was looking around for a company, I would hire him to check out the comp plan for me. I'd pick like 3 top companies. I'd research the top companies on the internet, the top successful 100 to 200 companies. I'd pick maybe 3, and then I'd run them by him and see what would be the best, if any, good marketing plan there. So if you know someone at Advocare, maybe you can pass on these tips, or if they have questions, we can help coach them. I am leading a support group for Advocare distributors on Monday nights, every Monday night, starting this Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And they can get that number by messaging me or getting into a Facebook group that I just started called the Advocare Distributor Support Group. So I'm only giving out that number to Advocare people, so nobody else is in it. It's going to be deep and personal, intense, and it can be anonymous if they want. So if you know somebody who needs that support and help, you could have them message me or see my Facebook Live that I did today. And over to you, Jeff.
Okay, guys, I think that's a wrap for tonight. I appreciate everybody for jumping on. I got a lot out of Joyce, Jim, Dave, and Dr. Chris. The information you guys gave was amazing. And tips. I mean, I still learn. I learn from people who are in the field working it. Dave Peters said something really interesting, and we'll kind of end with this. He made one comment. He said, when you do the favor script, do you do me a favor? Do you, I want to tell you about what I'm working on, so if you run into the right person, you can refer me. And then he added this: I'm just looking for referrals. And it seems subtle, but that repeat of what you're looking for kind of hammers it through. And people are like, oh, okay. So that may be something you also want to add. So with that, guys, I appreciate everybody for jumping on. I hope you got something out of this. And for tonight, we will wrap it up and obviously start again next Sunday with the 10 core about getting started right.